Welcome out again, everyone. This is Sports Talk Mania. I'm your host, Lee Haygood. Got our own KJ Kyle Johnson in the studio with us here today to talk some sports. Give us a phone call at 931-629-1824. Be glad to get you on Sports Talk Mania this Monday afternoon, March 9th, 2015. No ice on the roads outside, KJ. Just a little bit of ice still on shaded areas of grass, about all you're seeing anymore, but got a lot of rain in the area. Hey, baseball already firing up, even with the rain in the area.
I don't know about you, but I'm about sick and tired of all this rain out there and cold weather and snow and the whole 9 yards. I'm tired of it.
Well, the baseball gods are able to continue on today as we've got Lawrence County High School Wildcats in baseball action this evening as well. You said you had a chance to go by and see our own Loretta Mustangs in action on the baseball field today.
Yeah, I went and checked them out for a little bit before the show and went over there and we were up 7-0 in the third and I just finally said I need to get back for the show, so I went ahead and headed on out. But Mustangs, looking sharp so far, and of course, don't have the basketball players quite yet, thank goodness.
We hope they don't for about what we got now, about 5 more days. We need them concentrating on basketball.
That's right. And so it was good to see the boys out there and, just playing the game of baseball. And I think we're going to be able to get us a win this evening. And so that's always good. Start off the season on a winning note,
Man, it is. And besides that, you said we were playing Clements out of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And one of our own Loretta guys kind of taking over that program down there at Clements. Had a chance to talk to him during the all season, talking about Cletus. And
Nathan Sawyer.
Well, yeah, okay, throw his whole name in there.
Yeah, might as well.
But Cletus, he's luckily I've had a chance to talk to him a few times during the all season. I'll meet up with him. He's from down around the Florence area. That's where he's actually making his home now, and get to see him every now and then out and about down in that area, and been having some pretty good conversation with him. We usually hold the line up there at Walmart, so to speak, so...
he keeps you out of trouble, you keep him out of trouble.
Somebody's got to keep me out of trouble, KJ.
Somebody's got to do it.
You ain't around enough, so that gum, we got to keep us out of trouble somehow. Hey, how about talking about those Loretta Mustangs? We definitely got to get most of the show probably be talking about them. We're going to talk about other things, though. We're going to talk about professional football, all these trade talks coming about, and the draft coming up here in a couple of months, and a lot of other things we're going to get on the show, but definitely got to get our Loretta Mustangs, got to give them a word and a shout out right now. Hey, proud of you guys, but hey, the mission is not accomplished as of yet. So hang in there. They will play Thursday morning. I think tip-off for our game is slated somewhere around 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And, of course, that's TSSAA state tournament, so it may, waver a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Are we the first game that morning, KJ?
We will be, so it will start right at 10.
Okay.
No doubt about it. And I think the gates open up, I want to say the gates open up at 9 o'clock, so that'll be good. And everybody come out, support your Mustangs. They've worked really hard this year, and had a really good article in the Times Daily and about the Mustangs, and had a really good feature on Coach Roach and some of the guys, and that was just a really good article that was written about the Mustangs. So hey, hats off to you guys. Great job.
Absolutely, and definitely proud of those guys after winning their sub-state game at the barn. What was that, last Tuesday night, I believe it was?
Yeah.
Excuse me, and coming off a big win against Nashville Christian, a school that come in and trying to, soil the hopes and the dreams of the Mustangs. Couldn't get it done. Mustangs win. They did make a final 3-point shot there to close the game to within 3, but that was the end of the game. Mustangs won it by 3. They're headed to the state tourney up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Again, Thursday morning, ladies and gentlemen, come out if there's any way possible you can get off of work or whatever and get up there and watch them in the glass house. Hey, I know these guys will be glad to see in all ways, shapes, and forms. And I know Coach Roach really be glad to have a big fan base up there at the Murphy Center come Thursday morning. I know Mustangs TV will be there. If I'm not mistaken, Sports Exports will be there for a little while. Of course, Josh McDonald and myself be bringing you the ball game play-by-play. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll actually be play-by-play on X Sports when it comes time for the game.
That's right. We'll be live on the X Sports Radio Network as well. Glad to have them along as partners this year on Mustangs TV. You know, that me and JP were talking just the other day. It's been a great partnership, and I think it's really gone well for both organizations this year. So that's something we really cherish.
Well, it gets them a good word, you know, from us, because we're going to these games. For the most part, we're going to be at the Loretta Lady Mustangs and Mustangs ball games, and that gives them the opportunity to kind of hook into our feed and bring it to, you know, everyone in Lawrence County that WLX or the X Sports Radio Network actually reaches out to. And they've got pretty much a website just like MustangsTV.com as well.
Yeah, JP does a great job over there.
For things that, you know, they can't get on the radio live, they'll get it on their network live, like we will here at Mustangs TV. Again, hats off to our Loretta Mustangs, state-bound this Thursday morning, 10 o'clock tip-off. So if you can get out, ladies and gentlemen, please do so. Support your Mustangs. Like KJ said, these guys have worked tremendously hard this year. Coach Roach done an excellent job with this young talent he has, so definitely try to make it up to the Murphy Center come Thursday morning. And if not, you can catch it on MustangsTV.com and the X Sports Radio Network as well. A lot of things going on right now in the world of sports. Got football trades, as I mentioned earlier, got a lot of those going on in talks. Poor Peyton Manning had to take a $4 million pay cut just to stay with the Broncos this year. I hate it for Peyton. You know, I'm not sure he can make it without that $4 million. But I tell you, these professional athletes, you know, it kind of gets on your nerves, even though I'm happy for them. I'm happy for all these folks, and the more money they make, hey, if that's what if that's what makes them happy, I'm happy for them. And, you know, my hat's off to them for getting what they can, while they can, when they can, because, you know, the professional athlete, his actual playing time is not that very long. So, you know, again, hats off to them for getting what they can, but it kind of makes me sick when I hear them talking about a $4 million pay cut when a lot of us are not going to make $1 million, you know, in our lifetime. And things like that going on just kind of gets under your skin a little bit. But again, hey, I'm happy for them. If that's what it takes to make them happy, I'm happy for them.
Well, and I was going to say, do you think that it's possible he took the pay cut in order to give the Broncos a chance to maybe load up on some more talent?
I'm absolutely
clear some salary cap space.
Oh, I'm absolutely positive that that's the only reason he done it, and I can't say that I blame him for that, you know, because he wants to get that other championship. As of right now, I think his brother's got him outnumbered 2-1 on Super Bowl championships. And, man, can you imagine him, you know, 10 years from now, them sitting around the family table and Eli being able to talk about how much better he was because he's got 2 championships, even though I think most of us that pay attention to professional football and college football knows that Eli, in my eyes, was nowhere close to the actual football player that Peyton has been through his career. Thing brought up a couple weeks ago, apologize for not being on last week. We had to, of course, use some of our equipment on an away game last Monday night, I guess it was, at Houston County. I believe it was, KJ, for the girls.
That won't happen again.
State. And, again, apologize for not being on last week. A couple things brought up the week before, though, KJ. One about this Smyrna coach. And I know a lot of people's getting tired of hearing this, but Mr. Farrington actually called the show and gave us something to talk about. And I've been meaning to get your outlook on that. I know we've been together since then, but we've been covering games, this, that, and the other, and hadn't had time to actually talk sports outside of the Loretta Mustangs.
Right.
But what's your thought on those two coaches? And I don't know. I'm sure most people by now have seen the videos on this, and it's
they're awful.
It's a complete disgusting thing to actually sit and watch because I know how I was when I was a student athlete. I know that I was one of the most competitive people out on the field or the court or whatever sport we were talking about. I always wanted to win.
Right.
And you could clearly tell in these little clips that I've seen that these ladies weren't even trying. I mean, they were actually trying to lose the best they could, and you could clearly see that. What's your thoughts on that, KJ?
Well, here's my thing, and I've been talking with some folks and whatnot, and getting their insight and everything, and somebody, and I don't forget who it was that said it, but somebody said this, and I couldn't agree more. You can make a valid point that teams in high school, especially in Tennessee, the way the postseason is set up right there, that teams throw games all the time, and that may be true. I'm not disagreeing with it. They may throw games, here and there, but there is a huge difference in the way that they do it and the way that Riverdale and Smyrna tried to do it. The difference is when you have a team that's trying to throw a game, you do it in such a way that it's not just obvious.
Right.
If you want to play some younger players, hey, that's fine. You send them in and you tell them to give it their all for 32 minutes.
Absolutely.
And you maybe you don't run. Maybe you work on some plays that you're coming up with. To see how they work. Maybe don't look to necessarily score on every play. But the thing is, you're trying. You're dribbling the ball. You're not intentionally turning the basketball over. And that's the difference that we saw. In the Riverdale Smyrna game, you had two teams out there just trying. I mean, I saw one video, and I know you saw it, Haygood, but for those who may not have seen it, a girl literally was dribbling the basketball waist high, and she was just putting the ball out there in front of her. And the Smyrna girl guarding her, she was just daring the Smyrna guard to take the ball from her. Well, the Smyrna girl never did take the ball from her.
Right.
And so this girl just walks up to the mid-court line, just steps over. Of course, the referee calls over and back.
Right.
And she's, no big deal. Here you go. You need this. And then, you hear reports of teams asking the officials to you hear reports of teams asking the officials, to let them shoot on their own goal, and that, the goal that the opposing team is trying to score on, and that's where you draw the line.
Right.
I think that's where you absolutely draw the line.
We got a phone call on the line. This is Sports Talk Mania. Who we got on the line with us?
Hey, man, it's Micah Rochester. How's things going, dude?
I'm going to tell you what. We got state-bound, tourney-bound Coach Micah Rochester with the Loretta Mustangs live with us here on Sports Talk Mania. Coach Roach, I didn't say that to try to give you the big head or anything like that. I said that because all of our appreciation going out to you and your fine basketball team of Mustangs. Congratulations first, Coach, and kind of tell us a little bit about what you're feeling.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I've said it all year long, but I'm really lucky to get to coach the guys I coach, and now it's finally. I think everybody would agree with that. I mean, they're a lot of fun to watch play, and what they've accomplished over the last 2 or 3 weeks has been pretty amazing, and hopefully we're not done with it.
Well, Coach, I want to be one of the first to tell you out live, happy birthday.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
I was going to say, he's already been beat, not live, but, yeah, I guess live, you are the first.
Hey, I'm the first live now, dadgummit. Don't take that away from me. Come on now. They got all the glory. Let me have a little bit here, KJ. Come on. Coach, again, congratulations to you and the team from all of us here at MustangsTV.com. It's been our pleasure to cover you guys all season long. And knowing from the start, Coach, you and I talked back way before basketball season here on Sports Talk Mania, and you knew you had something special with this team.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that has started 4 or 5 years ago, and we had this group, this freshman bunch, and knew the talent level that we had. And they've just grew and mature, and just the seniors we have are just really great leaders. And then, of course, we all knew about the freshmen and the things that they've been able to accomplish before they got to high school. And then, of course, when you throw in guys like Adam Freeman and Alec Rhodes and Luke Childers in between them, we got a lot. We liked a lot of the pieces we had, and thought as long as everything gelled, we had a chance to have a really special season. And this group of guys have just grown to be so close and work so well with each other and are so supportive of each other that and just so coachable that everything just kind of fell into line. And we're going to go to Murfreesboro. It's kind of been a whole surreal situation, and I've been like a kid at Christmas. I know the other guys are too. We're just ready to get there and to play and to walk out on that floor. I mean, it's something that you dream about. I mean, it's been about 28 years, 30 years that I've dreamed of being able to have this opportunity, and so I'm just really excited to get there and experience the whole everything that goes along with being in that tournament.
Well, Coach, has it sunk in yet? Let's talk a little history. Has it sunk in yet that you and these Mustangs, this 2014, 2015 team, have actually made history being the first team for the Loretta Mustangs to go to, be state tourney bound for the first time since 1942. Is that actually sunk in, or have you gave thought to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've thought about for a long time. I took over the program. We didn't have a whole lot of mementos hanging around, and a lot of the mementos from Loretta's history are things that you didn't really want to hang around. And the banner, I think maybe Coach Simback from 1942 or 43 had put it up in the locker room, and something that we see and every single day, and it's something we've talked about. And to be the first team in 70 years to get back to Murfreesboro, it's been something we've talked a lot about over the last 3 or 4 years. And so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not gone unnoticed on the players and on the staff, because it's been a goal that, like I said, we literally talk about it all season long, every season, about breaking that curse, I guess you will. I don't know if it's the curse of Bambino or the Billy Goat or what the curse of it was, but, to finally break that streak's been pretty amazing, and just the outpouring of support from the community and the alumni, and it's just it's been a great feeling throughout the whole run.
Well, Coach, before we actually get into a question or two about the game, are you going to take this week as a normal week, or we got something special planned that maybe you're going to let the players do, leading into Wednesday, maybe Thursday?
Well, we tried this whole run to keep everything as normal as possible, and tried to look at it as we've even talked about today, that we're going to an 18 tournament. It's no different from the Christmas tournament or any other invitational tournament we've played in over the last 3, 4, 5 years, or that they've all played in their whole life. This is just a tournament, and we just happen to be one of the few teams that got an invitation, and all we're going up to do is to win our 3 games and hopefully win this tournament. And I really don't care what that the worst date in front of the tournament is, just another tournament. So we're trying our best just to make it just another basketball game. It's hard. There's a lot of distractions. There's not a lot of times we have media at practice and players giving interview and things like that. But we're doing our best to just try to make it as normal as possible.
Well, Coach, and I know that you've watched the movie Hoosiers, and just about everybody that's tuned in to us here on Sports Talk Mania this evening, by the way, which has Coach Michael Rochester of the Loretta Mustangs called in, and gracious enough that he called in to be a guest with us today. Coach, you've seen that movie Hoosiers, and it's still a 10-foot tall basketball goal, and you're still 15 foot away from a free throw line. It's no different floor than what we've got right there at the barn.
That's correct. I think the biggest thing in November and who we play, they weren't really expected to make it this year, and I don't think they've been there in a while. We've talked about, I guess my biggest concern over this whole thing is that we're going to play at 10 in the morning, but they've got to play at 10 in the morning as well.
Right.
And, and so they're going to have to play on the same floor, and they're kind of in a new situation as well. So, you know, we look forward to our kids have the things they've been able to accomplish and the way they've kept the same attitude and demeanor throughout it all. I look for them after the first minute or two. They may be wide-eyed, but once they get out there and play, I really expect them to just be back to normal in basketball mode.
Well, Coach, one thing about it, playing that early game, something KJ and I have done hit on a little bit at the starting of the show, playing that early game don't mean you have to what that means is you don't have to wait. You know your tip-off time is going to be right at the 10 o'clock hour, and you're not having to wait that extra 15, 20, 30 minutes if another game goes into overtime. Do you see that being an advantage, though, having that first game to know that you're tipping off at 10 o'clock?
Oh, you know, there are, I guess, that you're not going to have to sit around all day and wait. And, you know, if we played later, we would probably be at school on Thursday. I mean, we've tried our best to not do anything any different than throughout this whole process. So, yeah, you know, it's like I told the kids today, I was like a kid at Christmas. I'm just ready to get there and start playing. And they all understood. Well, and so I know I couldn't handle Christmas morning very well. Mom used to always get up with me and let me open presents before everybody else. So it's probably a good thing that we're playing early.
Well, Coach, going into that, let's get on into the ball game time. We got Van Buren County is our opponent for Thursday morning in the first round of the state tournament. Well, what can you tell us about Van Buren County, or what do we need to be looking for come Thursday morning at 10 o'clock?
Well, I think they're a lot like us. They may not have the size that we have, but they've got a lot of really good shooters. They have a lot of length. They may not have 6'8", 6'9" guys, but they've got a lot of guys look to be about 6'3", really long. And they're going to play hard and get after you real well. Play a lot of zone. They're a team that struggled early part of the season. They play a whole lot of young kids, only have one senior, but here in the district and region tournament, they've gotten hot and are playing their best basketball of the season, and so they were able to beat some teams that people didn't expect them to beat. And you know, lo and behold, they're in Murfreesboro. So I know they've been overlooked. Over the last couple of weeks, and they just keep finding a way to win. I know they're real well coached and play real hard, and so. I mean, we'll definitely have to come out and play well, but at this point, no matter who you got, they're probably pretty good, or they wouldn't be in Murfreesboro. But it's a lot better thing looking at what could have happened, what could have been, would have been. Had we not won the region tournament, we could be sitting here trying to prepare for Memphis Mitchell, who a lot of people are considered to be the odds-on favorite to be the repeat champions in single A. So, although I know we're going to have to play well and can't take anything for granted, it definitely could have been a lot worse stall for us.
Absolutely, Coach. Again, and you kind of brought on something. I want to just hit in just a little bit on the Lady Mustangs. It could have been, you know, there was a few bad calls, and I think everybody will agree with me on this, whether you're a Lady Mustang fan or not. A few bad calls made in their game that actually made them go on the road to Houston County versus, you know, hosting a game at the barn. And I don't know how your feelings are, but when you can play at home, especially in the atmosphere of the barn, you've got to figure that's a few extra points onto your total right there.
No doubt. I know I talked with the coach from Nashville Christian before we walked out on the floor, and he was talking about the atmosphere that we had there at the Loretto, and he said his son, who had played for him a few years ago and graduated, walked over to him and said, "Man, this is better than playing at home. This atmosphere is unbelievable." And so, you know, when you got the opposing team's coaches and fans talking about how much more fun it would be to play on the road than it would be at home, it definitely has a huge advantage. And talking with Goodpasture's coach and asking him about Van Buren County, that was definitely one of the things he said about Van Buren beating them. He said that he thought his kid didn't handle the atmosphere there in Van Buren, and he thought that definitely was. I think they ended up getting beat in overtime, and he definitely gave a lot of credit to the crowd and to the home court advantage for Van Buren in that basketball game.
And Coach, again, looking back though, if the Lady Mustangs had that opportunity to play in the barn like you and the Mustangs had that opportunity to play in the barn, we could have both of our teams, at state tournament.
Well, no doubt. I mean, what Coach Rutledge has been able to come in and accomplish this year, I mean, I don't know if people realize, but we lost 3 really, really good players last year, and really good leaders and a lot of good workers, and Ashley Johns and Daisy Huntley and Kayla Santiago. And so these girls, you could just see them getting better each game and each week, and a lot of them stepping up and got better throughout the year. And I mean, yeah, it would have been really, really special to have both teams in Murfreesboro, but to have both teams in the sub-state is something quite impressive. I don't know. I know Blackman did it. Of course, both their boys and girls were in the state tournament. But I don't know if there was another school in the state of Tennessee outside of Blackman that could make that claim.
Right, and you're absolutely right. Big congratulations to the Lady Mustangs as well. And, Coach, we seen them coming on from maybe, I'm going to say, about a third of the way through the season. It was like something kicked in finally, and they all started. Of course, you got first-year coach Ashley Rutledge, coaching the team and heading the team. So, you kind of understood that it's going to have some growing pains and some ups and downs. But once they started getting on a run, unlike the Mustangs, Coach, I got to say this. You guys come out at the starting of the season and started off hot, stayed hot, and right now you're playing some of the best basketball I've seen you play this year. But the Lady Mustangs as well, they come on there about a third of the way through the season. It was like, wow. Look at this team go now. And I honestly thought we were going to have both teams in going to Murfreesboro. But unfortunately, Lady Mustangs lose a nail biter there in the sub-state. But the best thing about this is you guys didn't lose in the sub-state. You're going to Murfreesboro Thursday morning state-bound. Coach, I'm going to tell you again, Coach Michael Rochester on the phone with us, coach of the Loretta Mustangs, state-bound tournament. Loretta Mustangs. Coach, what's your I'm going to get this in, and we're not going to take no more of your time today. I know you're excited, looking forward to Thursday, but what's your outlook on the state tournament? You say that this Memphis team is probably the odds-on favorite. What do you see that the Mustangs are going to have to do to be playing Saturday and win or lose Saturday just to get to that point?
Well, of course, a lot of the stuff that you read are from hometown fans, and I think they all wear, Loretta fans, I hope and pray they wear black and gold glasses when they look at our team and our possibilities, and I know other teams do as well. But, coming into it, a lot of the teams say that Mitchell and Union City are by far the 2 favorites to win it, and everybody's hoping but that's the 2 teams that make the championship game. But very rarely in any type of tournament does the favorites always advance. I mean, to me, that's what makes high school and college basketball really special. Is that one game, one and done atmosphere. As good as Kentucky's been all year long. If they have a bad night come NCAA tournament time, their season's over. Doesn't matter if they come in at 34, 35-0. And so, I told our kids as we got ready when we were playing PA the night of the region championship, and Miles didn't dress. And when Lane went out with 20 seconds to go in the first half, and we went in halftime without 2 of our leading scorers and 2 guys that have started for 3-4 years, that, we don't have, all we got to do is be better than CA for 16 minutes. That's it. We don't have to beat them 3 out of 5. We don't have to beat them 4 out of 7. We just got to be better than CA for the next 16 minutes of the game. And we did that. And that's the same way going into this tournament. All we got to do is be better than them here 32 minutes, and we'll have a really quality team if we're able to win that first round in Union City or Hampton. Hampton was last year's state runner-up to Mitchell. I know a lot of people from Union City are already counting Hampton out, but I mean, they obviously are pretty good, or they wouldn't have made it to the state championship game last year. And so, whoever we play out of those 2, we're going to try to be better than them for the next 32 minutes, and then if we're lucky enough and fortunate enough to get to that Saturday game, then we'll try to play our best ball again for the next 32 minutes. And so, you try not to look ahead to past the next opponent. And everybody I've talked to, from Coach Fields to Coach McGill to Coach Trotter and anybody else that's ever been here, they just keep telling me the same advice to enjoy it, to have fun. And so I'm trying to have a really good balance between staying focused and a workmanlike attitude, but at the same time to stop and smell the roses, if you will. So, we're happy to be here and we're excited, but we're not ready to celebrate. Celebrations for me are what you do when everything's over and done. And so, hopefully we'll stay focused and have 3 good days of basketball, and we'll see what happens.
Kind of like I said a little earlier, Coach, the mission is not accomplished just yet, huh?
No. I mean, that's been the biggest thing with these kids, and they've been so special this year. After beating Lawrenceburg at our place on what some people call the luck shot, but Miles called it as he broke the huddle that he was going to bank it. So I don't see how it could be. That might be stretched the truth a little bit, but that's the way I remember it.
Hey, and, hey, that's Miles' story.
I'm sticking to it. So, when we did that, everybody thought, well, they must be really excited. And then, well, lo and behold, we went up and beat Lawrenceburg and swept them, and everybody was like, oh, my gosh, what was they saying in the locker room? And the only thing I remember is somebody said, who we got next? And that was all that was said. And then we go to Summertown and win the regular season district championship. And all that I remember being said is Wayne Mania walked up to me after the game and said, Coach, when's the last time that happened? That Loretta's won the district. And I remember saying, Lane, I don't know if it's ever happened in the history of the school. And he walked over to me and gives me a fist bump and says, that's cool, and walks off. And that was about all that was said. And then after winning the district championship at Lawrence County, there were people, I remember talking with Lucas, and he said his girlfriend said, Lucas, they don't realize what they just did in winning the district, because their demeanor was so calm. And, and he told her, he said, look, they're not satisfied. They've done what they've expected to do. We expected to be able to beat Lawrenceburg twice and to win the district and to make it to the region championship and to make it to that sub-state game. And so now we're expecting to go to Murfreesboro and win 2 or 3 games. That's the expectation. So they've had a great perspective on it, and they've done a good job of keeping me level, I guess, throughout this whole process. So our mission is definitely not accomplished yet.
And I will agree with that, Coach. Coach, one final question: do we need to do anything special coming into this tournament, or keep just playing keep playing the ball that the Mustangs have been playing?
Well, that's what I've told the kids on Saturday. Look, we're not reinventing the wheel this week. We're gonna do what we do. We play 2-3, and we're gonna run 2-3, and we trap, and we're gonna trap. Whether we play Van Buren or Hampton or Union City or Clay County or Mitchell, we're not changing. I mean, our identity is who we are. It's worked for us so far, and we use the slogan "Uncommon" as our team, and I got that from a book that I read of Tony Dungy, and it's called Uncommon. But one of the things he said is, as a football coach, he wanted his team to do what we do. And that's kind of the attitude that we've taken, is we're going to do what we do, and we hope other teams have to make an adjustment to that rather than us having to make the adjustment for them.
Absolutely, Coach. Coach, I'm going to ask you one more question, and this is just the end. This ain't about the game. This is about the outlook as far as the way the brackets or the regions or the classifications are. I'm hearing a little bit of talk about maybe getting more classifications in basketball in the state of Tennessee. Do you know anything about that? And if you do, could you share it with us?
There's rumors about it. One of the things that I hear that the biggest headache is that the basketball coaches themselves can't decide. Some want to keep the 3, and some want 4, and some want 6, and as a basketball coach, we've got to get together and figure out what would be best for the schools. I personally don't know that I would like to go to Stick. I'm not envious of Coach Boyd and his staff having to travel to Stewart County to play a football game, but they're only going to have to do it once every other year on a Friday night.
Right.
We have to do that once a year, and it could possibly be on a Tuesday night. So that would put a lot of night that could put our kids getting in at midnight on a Tuesday, and then they've got to turn around and try to go to school and practice and live a normal life. So even though travel is really, really tough for football, it's almost undoable at times in basketball. So I don't know that six is right, but I would, I've always said I wanted more classifications, but now that we're made it to Murfreesboro, I guess I'd be I'm just glad we're finally single A.
I understand, Coach.
It's a big difference. I realize, the difference it's made for us this year, and as far as classifications, I mean, whatever the rules are, we'll play with them, and if they happen to work out in our favor, then that's good. And if they happen to work out and put us back in there with the CPAs of the world, then we'll just go back to work and deal with whatever we got to deal with.
Coach, again, Michael Rochester with us here from the Loretto Mustangs basketball team headed to the state. Coach, we from all of us here at Sports Talk Mania and MustangsTV.com, we want to wish you guys the best wishes, the best of luck coming up this Thursday, and let's see if we can't bring a state championship home to Loretto, Tennessee.
Hey, man, we're going to do everything we can.
Hey, Coach, we know you will. Again, thanks, Coach, for tuning in and joining us here today on Sports Talk Mania.
Thank you,
Again,
Coach.
we will see you Thursday at the House of Glass.
All right, man. We'll see y'all then.
All right, Coach. Be careful. Again, Coach Michael Rochester here with us on Sports Talk Mania this evening. We're going to get a word from some of our sponsors, and we'll be back to take any phone calls here. Phone lines will be open when we come back at 931-629-1824. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
Southern Craft Manufacturing in Loretto, Tennessee blends old world craftsmanship and modern manufacturing for a multitude of steel and brushed finish caskets. Founder Rodney Robinson is dedicated to providing the finest quality at the best value. At Southern Craft Manufacturing, we are committed to choice with a variety of colors and hardware designs for limitless combinations. Southern Craft Manufacturing, North Main Street, Loretto. Toll free 800-413-1778. Tailgate checklist. Cooler.
Check.
Chips.
Check.
Hot dogs.
Check.
Mustang gear.
Check.
Insurance.
Check.
This season, protect your team with insurance from Auto Owners Insurance and Loretto Insurance Services. Keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Call Loretto Insurance Services in Loretto today, 931-853-7126.
Welcome back again, everyone. Sports Talk Mania. I'm Lee Haygood sitting in with you today. Got KJ Kyle Johnson sitting to my side today. KJ, glad you could join us here on Sports Talk Mania. I've missed you the last few shows. I know you've been busy out and about doing other things, and of course, we were having shows some days that you guys were actually traveling, away games on the basketball court that I couldn't make it because I couldn't get off work in time, but
it works out.
It does work out, but now you guys are making me wake up early Thursday morning. I've actually, thanks to my boss man, he's giving me a day off Thursday to go call this game, and you're making me get up at the same doggone time I'd be getting up to go to work.
Well, I'm sorry, Haygood, but we. By the way, for those that may not know exactly what time, we're going to leave at 5:45 a.m. on Thursday from Loretto. So,
and it's still dark at that time of the morning now that the time's changed.
I
right?
know, and I'll be honest with you, it's earlier than I usually have to get up, but one thing will be for sure, and that is high school state tournament basketball will be in the air, and I may not get any sleep Wednesday night. So, the earlier we can leave Thursday, the better for me anyway. And I'm looking forward to it. And I know that you are, Lee, and
Absolutely.
all the Mustangs TV crew. It's going to be a great time and everything. But yeah, we got to go. We got to keep up our tradition of stopping and eating at Cracker Barrel on the way to the state tournament.
I've done told you my feelings on that.
I know.
Sometimes you got to break those traditions like that to make better things happen.
We still, we gotta eat breakfast somewhere. So it's you got the Mustangs TV crew. We're always hungry, so you got to stop and eat somewhere. So
if they don't think we're hungry, they wrong. They hadn't looked at us. It's been too long since the TSSAA's let us not get on video. So, but anyway, again, looking forward to it myself. I know that you are, and the rest, and Josh McDonald, and all the rest of the gang. We're all looking forward to it. That's the reason this is not like a job. We can go and cover these broadcasts of Mustangs and Lady Mustangs, and we can always have a good time.
It's fun.
We don't always agree with each other, and if these people would hear some of our discussions that we have, and I'll start to say arguments, that we don't argue about anything. It's just discussions. They would think that we're crazy, and they'd probably be right.
They may be.
and two, they'd be saying, how in the world does these guys keep calling these games together? Listen at them. But again, we always have a good time and enjoy it. And the staff at Mustangs TV, you couldn't ask for a better staff. Like I say, we don't always agree on things, but we always come to what's best for Mustangs TV and what's best for our student athletes when we're trying to cover ball games, this, that, and the other. Again, I want to thank Coach Micah Rochester. He didn't have to give us his time today, but he did. Chose to call into the show to give us his outlook on what's coming up this week. And
happy birthday once again.
Yeah, happy birthday, Coach. And I meant to say that before we actually let him go. And if he's still on here, again, happy birthday, Coach Micah Rochester.
Could you imagine a better way of celebrating your birthday than going to a state tournament? I mean, that's it don't get any better.
Just think if we're fortunate enough, and God willing, that we can win Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and bring that state championship home to Loretto. I'm telling you what, you're talking about an excited area around here. I'm telling you, those folks around here are going to be extremely excited, especially one of our biggest fans. Got to take our hat off to Rufus. We know he's going to be he's going to be at the game or listening to the game or something anyway.
Now, for those that don't know, Rufus is Richard Brewer. Richard, if you're out there listening, want to give a big shout out to you. Easily Loretto's biggest fan, I'd say, without a doubt.
Are you talking physically, KJ?
Physically and showing up for every game. He was out there. Let me tell you something, Lee. He was out there at the baseball game today, sitting in the bleachers for the whole game. Now, if y'all are listening to this on another day, understand this. Today it's been rainy. It's been drizzling rain all day. It's been a little on the chilly side. Not too bad, but a little bit on the chilly side. And Richard has been sitting out there, and he does this all the time. And this is just one example of the day, but that's Richard Brewer. He's a big, huge fan of the Lady Mustangs and Mustangs, and we've got a lot of other fans who come out and support these young men and women too.
For years, KJ, and I'm going to say this, and some people may even get mad. For years, You didn't see the excitement around Loretto sports that you're seeing nowadays in time. Bringing in new coach Ashley Rutledge for our Lady Mustangs, bringing in Coach Michael Rochester, getting these Mustangs tuned up, going to the state tournament for the first time since 1942. Coach Boyd getting to the district playoffs this past season in football. A lot of excitement brewing, and the fans seem to be fueling off of what the good things that's going on with Loretto athletics at this time. So hats off especially to Richard. Any man that can sit in the stands with that big hat that he had on at the sub-state game, I'm telling you what, hats off to you, brother. And we appreciate you and all these Loretto Mustang fans. Look forward to seeing all of them Thursday morning up at Murfreesboro.
Absolutely.
Got a lot of things going on in the world of sports, like we said earlier. I want to say a little bit about the Kentucky Wildcats basketball team. You talking about now KJ sitting here, that's a discussion we're going to have, I guess. But KJ sitting here just kind of waving it out. Hey, KJ, whether you like Kentucky Wildcats or whether you don't like the Kentucky Wildcats, when you see a college team, nowadays in time especially, with so many great athletes out there that these colleges can pick up, 5-star, 4-star, you can give them any stars, 10-star if you want to. I know what you're thinking. I know what a lot of people think. But
they pay them very well.
Well, listen, whether they do or they don't, think about this. With athletes coming up today in sports, and our population grows so much in the United States, and of course we're getting players from other countries as well. But with the population growing like it is, and like Kentucky, they can't put but 5 people on the floor at one time. They can't have but 12, 15 people on their bench at one time. You know as well as I do, there is many, many other great basketball players out there other than what goes to the University of Kentucky. With them going through the regular season undefeated, I think it's a tremendous feat. And if you've not just sat and watched this team play, it's like they never lose control of what's going on. Oh yeah, they're going to have make a bad shot or miss a shot and all that, but that's basketball.
It's like watching a professional basketball team.
You're exactly right, and most of them will probably go to the pros to play basketball. But like I say, nowadays in time, when you've got so many good athletes spread around the United States at every college, University of Tennessee, Alabama, and Vanderbilt. When you talk about all these great players, and then you talk about one team that's able to go through their whole regular season undefeated, playing, and they're not playing smaller teams every week. They're playing, even though the SEC is probably one of the weakest conferences in basketball, they're still playing some tough competition each and every night. And them to go through a full season undefeated, wow. My hat's off to the Kentucky Wildcats, Coach Calipari, for getting done what he gets done up there at Kentucky. Man, I'm telling you, KJ, you got to take your hats off to a team like that, and you've got to actually sit there and realize that you're watching something that is tremendously we're talking about history with Coach Rochester. That's history. You're watching history. When you sit and watch Kentucky Wildcats, you're watching history. Will they lose a game? Possibly even in the SEC tournament. But when you're talking about just overall feats and what they've succeeded in doing this past season, man, it's one of those things. It's just so great to sit and watch.
I don't have anything to add. Go Vols is what I say.
Well, we can be Vol fans all we want to be, but when you sit and watch something, that's just like, I've always been a county team supporter. And again, I graduated from Lawrence County High School, shed a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on that field up there at Hendrick Stagg Stadium. But I moved to Loretto, and hey, Loretto's my team now. That's who I'm going to be backing. But I'm also not going to stop backing the Lawrence County Wildcats and the Summertown Eagles. even though a lot of people disagree with me, that they don't see it that's being right, but I do. These kids are all living in our county. They're playing for these, their respected schools. And, hats off to them. I hated when Coach Clark and I went to school together, coach of the Lawrence County Wildcats. A great guy, one of the best basketball coaches around, and this ain't putting anybody down, Coach Roach or whoever else is listening. It's not putting anybody down. But when I heard that the Wildcats lost in their, regional finals, I believe. No, it was sub-state. It was a sub-state game for them too. When I heard they lost that, man, it's just like it broke my heart knowing that we didn't have the Lawrence County Wildcats going to the state. So, you got to support your county teams, support your local teams first and foremost, but then get behind your county teams and wish these kids the best because, again, they are students. They're student athletes.
Absolutely.
And you've got the Van Buren County web page pulled up. I seen that during our talk with Coach Roach a little earlier.
Yeah, trying to do a little scouting here.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. But like Coach Roach says, and I think you and I can tell by looking at their team, they're not a real big team, but it looks like they've got several players around the 6'3", 6'4" height. So, as far as just an average, they might over average us as far as height on the court. Of course, we got one of the biggest guys in basketball in Big Adam Fleming up underneath the goal. So looking forward to our state tournament coming up this Thursday. Again, Mustang fans, get out, support your Mustangs any way possible. We would love to see you up at Murfreesboro at the Murphy Center come Thursday morning, especially 10 a.m. That's when tip-off time is supposed to be for the Loretto Mustangs going up against Van Buren County in the state first round of the state playoffs for basketball. Looking forward to that. We got into a little bit of professional football. I'm not believing all these trade rumors that I'm hearing. I ain't going to say I don't believe them. I can't really fathom what's going on in some of these coaches' minds of some of these players I'm hearing about them getting rid of and all this. So it's going to be interesting in the next few weeks in professional football. Talking about the Tennessee Vols. You said go Vols. What's happened to our basketball team, KJ?
Well, I just think it's a combination of, got a new coach, Coach Tyndall, and we had one senior this year, Josh Richardson on the team, and he's helped the Vols out all he can. But I don't know. I think it's going to take time for the guys to start playing together, and I think Coach Tyndall, he's only had 1 year to get his guys in there. And, he had to build the team basically from scratch this year. He didn't have much to go on at all. And I think he did the best that he could. He got mostly junior college transfers. Nothing wrong with that. But, it's going to be tough, to compete in the SEC. And, there's so many good schools now, and just because you're playing a small school don't necessarily mean that they're just going to lay over and let you beat them. You better be ready for a fight every single game. So I just think it's going to take some time, and hopefully we're able to stay clear of the NCAA. And I know that they have questioned Coach Tyndall a couple of times, and questioned, some of his assistants, and they even had an assistant to resign. And many speculate that, that's due to possible NCAA penalties that may have been forthcoming. But, it's I don't know. I just hope we can keep Coach Tyndall. I think that he's, a good coach for the job. He seems very energetic. I know a lot of Tennessee fans have really embraced him in his first year just because of the energy he shows on the sideline. That's not something that you saw with Coach Martin, and it was really is that why he left for Cal? Who knows?
We got a phone call coming in. Sports Talk Mania. Who we got on the line?
Hey, Lee, this is Bill. How you doing?
All right, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm catching you late in the day, I guess. Sorry about that. But
That's okay.
I want to wish Mike and the boys a good luck this week. Looking forward to going up Thursday and watching that game. And well, also wanted to say proud of our girls and the season they had. And proud of you guys, you and Josh, and Kyle, y'all done a great job on MustangsTV.com, and appreciate all the good hard work y'all guys do.
Well, Bill, we appreciate you letting us know that, and appreciate you joining us here on Sports Talk Mania. And Coach Bill, let me say this again: big congratulations going out to the Lady Mustangs and all the coaching staff. And I've said this on Facebook, and I meant every word of it. I think Coach Ashley has come in and done an excellent job, and she seems to be one of those friend coaches to her players, which makes players want to play for a whole lot more. And you being on the staff, you and Miss Jenna as well, you guys, my hat's off to you. You guys have done an excellent job. And like I said, starting of the season, yeah, we had some bumpy roads. But after that, it was like you guys come together. And I told KJ over and over before anybody even made the comment, and we refrained from making that comment, is these ladies are getting better every ball game, every week. They just seem to be pulling together closer and closer, like a close-knit group. And again, congratulations to you, the whole coaching staff, and especially the Lady Mustangs.
I appreciate that, Lee. I tell you what, one of the maxims that Ashley has is we're not just a team, but we're a family. And I think what you saw had a lot to do with this. These kids pulled together, and they just carried me along for the ride. I coach Ashley and Jana. They did a lot of good work this year with Kay and the whole group. And I was just tickled to be along for the ride. And like I said, it's good to be around an operation organization that has people like you and Kyle and Josh and Micah and his group have done a great job. So it's just great to be associated with Mustang sports right now.
Hey, are you going to be at the Glass House come Thursday morning?
Yes, sir. Ashley and I are going to head on over there to the Glass House and root the black and gold on for a victory.
You doggone right. And KJ and them's making me leave at 5:45 in the morning, Bill. I'm telling you, that's a little too early.
Hey, man, I tell you what, if we get over early enough, maybe we can get us a Cracker Barrel breakfast or something.
Hey, we've already got that in our plan, so we may have to hook up with you guys, and we just have a big black and gold breakfast that morning.
Hey, that sounds good. The breakfast fill me, big man, if I'm over there. If you get Ashley to move that fast, I'm not sure if I can get her to move that fast.
Hey, you know you're talking to a big group of guys here when you say breakfast is on you. So.
Hey, well, I told you guys, you know, we're about to have to get back to Preston's for our catfish. I don't know, whenever y'all are ready.
Hey, we're going to hold you to that, Bill.
I it's on there now. I can't back out.
Bill Helton on the line with us, Coach Bill Helton of the Loretta Lady Mustangs. Again, Coach, I know your mission ended just a little bit earlier than what you and the coaching staff and the Lady Mustangs would like for it to. But, hey, hats off to you again. A great season. Look forward to next year. You know, these Lady Mustangs give you some high hopes. Even when you thought they might be down and out, one thing I can say about them, they never gave up. They always hung in there, and they never quit. And you can't ask anything else from a team than what you seen the Lady Mustangs give out this year.
Oh, they laid it on the line. I tell you what, that's what we love about these kids. You know, when they go to play, they leave it out there on the court, and that's all you can ever ask of them.
Absolutely.
And,
that's right.
You got to see it firsthand and through the season as it progressed. We love these young kids coming up. As a matter of fact, Ashley and I went to I think it was the third grade championship game at E.O. Kaufman today, and Loretta won that one over Etheridge. So we're watching these young kids come up the line. I think Kelly was coaching that game today, and so there's a lot of good talent coming up, and we're tickled about the talent that's there right now and going into next year.
Hey, Coach Bill Felton again on the line Lady Mustangs assistant coach. Coach, again, congratulations on a great season. Tell Miss Ashley and Miss Jana that we appreciated having the opportunity to cover all your ball games this season, and really looking forward to next year. But now it's time to root our Mustangs on to a state championship.
You got that right. I wish we both could be there, but we got Micah in that group, and I tell you what, I think they got a good chance of bringing it home.
Hey, we look forward to seeing that. Bill, I want to thank you again for calling in, giving us your time today here on Sports Talk Mania.
Hey, thanks, Lee. Listen, y'all take care. Keep KJ in line.
We're going to try our best.
That takes a full-time job right there.
Thanks again, Bill.
I hear that. Y'all take care, fellas.
All right,
thank
you.
Thanks for the kind words. That was Coach Bill Felton, assistant coach of the Lady Mustangs. Want to thank him for his kind words. Want to thank him for tuning in to us here on Sports Talk Mania and Mustangs TV. KJ, about time to end up the show. Again, want to invite each and every one out Thursday morning to Murfreesboro, the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, better known as MTSU around these parts. Look forward to the Mustangs getting on the floor and getting in action that Thursday morning. Again, love to see all the black and gold out to support our Mustangs Thursday morning. I know the MustangsTV.com crew will be there, raring and ready to go, even though it's going to be that early of a game.
Absolutely. Everybody will be ready and set. And I know I'm already getting kind of nervous about it, so that's typical, though.
Hey, that's
not
good.
Surprising.
That's good. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, come out. Please support your Mustangs Thursday morning as they go for a feat that has not been completed in school history of winning the state tournament and hasn't even been available to get to the state tournament since 1942. So that's going to end our show for the day. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to us here on Sports Talk Mania. Look forward to catching you next Monday evening as well from 6 to 7 p.m. And as far as me, everyone have a great rest of the week. Hope to see you Thursday morning. If not, we'll talk to you next Monday evening. I'm Lee Haygood.
I'm Kyle Johnson.
Again, thanks for tuning in. Everyone have a great week and Godspeed.